everyone, welcome to the latest edition of Pro Wrestling Defined, and what an amazing guest I have on the show today. One of the biggest stars from the WWF from the 1990s, one of the best finishing moves of all time, the Pearl River Plunge, one of the best entrance themes of all time, one of my personal favorites, the first African-American Intercontinental Champion, the one and only Mr. Ahmed Johnson. How are you doing today, man?
I'm doing good, brother. How are you?
Doing good, man. It's great to have you on the show. You have a big virtual autograph signing coming up pretty soon on April 26th for Cantu Promotions LLC. Are you excited about that? Is that your first virtual signing?
Yeah, this will be my first one. I never did that one before.
Yeah, it's a great opportunity for fans to get signed stuff, and anybody that's interested in that, you can go to Cantu LLC ProWrestling.com. That's CANTU LLC ProWrestling.com. You can pre-order all your photos there, and so that's April 26th, 6 p.m. to 9 p.m. So let's get into it. Talk about your background and how you ended up gravitating to getting into the wrestling business.
Well, background was pretty rough, man. Came from a pretty rough family, and I ended up getting into business with Stevie Ray. We went to Ivan Putski's school and trained with Ivan Putski. And next thing you know, I got the phone call from the WWF and went there, and it was amazing at first. It was really amazing.
Yeah, you had an incredible run, and before you got to WWF, you did a run in Global and a tour of Japan. Talk about any memories you have from the run in Japan and some of the people you enjoyed working with in Global.
Global was fun. It was a lot of fun, man. We didn't get paid, but maybe $20.
Oh, wow.
But yeah, but it was just a lot of fun. You know, you had to pay your dues, and they definitely made sure you paid your dues over there, brother. You talking about a bunch of shooters? They had a bunch of shooters over there, a bunch of old timers. You know, Black Bart, Valentine, just a bunch of old timers, man. That would, knock you on your butt.
Yeah, that's kind of the best way to get broke in then as well. Like, that really breaks you into the business the right way, doesn't it? Working with the kind of old school guys like that.
Exactly.
Definitely. And you had a tour of Japan as well. Any memories from Japan?
Oh man, yeah, Japan. That was a trip. I didn't enjoy that one too much, because one time when I came out and they didn't tell me ahead of time. When I came out and they had barbed wire match, but they used real barbed wire, and it was man, it was something. And I wasn't going to back down, because if you back down, then you look, as somebody that they can pick on, or somebody who's chicken, and I wasn't going to do that. So I didn't back down. I went on with the match, and man, like I said, when I got done, they took us to this place where there's this hot tub, a cold tub, then a sauna. And by the time you got out of there, though, man, you feel like a brand new person.
Wow.
And it was just, I don't know if I want to go back to Japan.
The pay wasn't meant to be that great over there either, was it, for what you go through there?
No, not at all. It wasn't worth it, not at all.
So it's you get the call from WWF, and talk about how that actually came about. Who made the contact you to get your role in WWF?
Well, I got a call from Vince himself.
Oh, wow.
And when he called, I thought it was somebody playing a joke. I thought it was some of my friends playing a joke on me. So I was very rude to him. I'm on the phone with him and it's being very rude. And he's kind of laughing because I guess he picked up on it. I thought that it was somebody else. And he said, well, I have you a ticket there tomorrow morning, and we'd like to fly you out. And I'm like, yeah, okay, whatever. Yeah, okay, sure. And then the next morning, knock at the door early in the morning, and I go, and it's a UPS guy, and he had the ticket. And then I flew down there, man, and they picked me up in a nice limo, and they really treated me right in the beginning.
Wow, that's amazing. And what were what were your kind of first impressions of Vince from your first meetings together?
He's a scary man to be sitting across from, to be honest with you. He's he was polite to me and everything, but I brought a attorney with me the second time I went there. I brought an attorney to check out my contract, and he didn't like that attorney being there. I don't think he liked attorneys too much, but he was cool with me, man.
Cool. And so you come in a really prominent position, and your first pay-per-view, Survivor Series 1995. I mean, there's an absolute all-star cast in that match. Talk about your memories of that.
Which one, Survivor Series?
Yeah, Survivor Series 95.
I don't even remember Survivor Series 95.
It was the elimination tag. I'll be more specific. One of the guys in it was British Bulldog. Actually, talk about some of your memories of working with Bulldog, because like he just went into the Hall of Fame. What are some of your memories of Bulldog? He was meant to be quite a character.
He was a ha man from the word go. He would play jokes on you. You've been in the ring with him or Owen, and they're telling jokes while you're locking up, tying up. And they're telling jokes the whole time. And then, like, Owen slapped me and ran out the ring because he knew I would chase him. And then I ended up chasing him around the ring and got tired. And he went back in and laid it on me. But they were good people, man. Bulldog, same way. Just played jokes on you from the beginning to the end. But one thing about it, Bret Hart told me that he didn't know if I was getting upset about all the jokes they were playing. And Bret told me that one thing about it, that they don't joke with people that they don't like. If they don't like you, they don't play jokes with you. And so I've taken that they like me because they play jokes on me all the time.
One of the good ones was the video of it's on YouTube. It's absolutely brilliant. I remember from way back in the day, it was the arm wrestling contest you had on Raw. I think it was. That's absolutely hilarious with Owen starting and stopping, and but he was kind of ribbing you as well. Talk about kind of the inside joke that he kind of played on that.
He was ribbing me the whole time, and then come to find out what he did was they took a stink bomb and broke it and put it on his hands. So while I'm locking up with him, it smelled like dog manure. I'm like, what the heck is going on? And he put stink bomb on his hands. Then he kept locking up with me and locking up, breaking it. And just hilarious, man. You couldn't get mad at the dude, man. You couldn't do nothing but love him. Because he was just that type of dude, man.
Yeah, he's definitely one guy like that you never hear anybody say a bad word about in the business. So, yeah. And so we go to WrestleMania 12 in '96, and you have another big six-man tag there. Another all-star cast in that one, like Yokozuna, Jake the Snake Roberts, Bulldog, and Owen, and everything. Talk about your memories of that and your memories of working with Yokozuna.
It was cool, man. I mean, anytime you work against the Bulldog and Owen, man, you can believe that. You're gonna have a lot of fun. And working with Big Yoko was, a lot of fun too, because he started getting into it. And people didn't realize, but we was playing the whole time. We really didn't have a good match. Because the whole time they were playing games and joking. Like they would call one move and they would do another move instead of the move they called. And then you'd be like, man, you didn't call that move. And then they start laughing at you. But it was a ball, man, working with them, man. I love working with them.
That's awesome. And at that same event, Ultimate Warrior made his return to the company. What are your
Yeah.
memories of Ultimate Warrior during that run?
Well, he was another one that I thought was cool. No matter what people say about him, he was cool with me. Matter of fact, he told me to come get dressed with him in his dressing room. So I went in his dressing room and we got dressed together and just sit there and, talk back and forth. And he was just telling me some of the things to look out for. I was green and new, and he was telling me some things to look out for and, some of the things, what to do and not to do. And he was just a cool dude, man, the whole time. People talk about him like he was a prima donna, but he wasn't with me, man. He was cool with me.
Yeah, I met him before as well, and he was absolutely super cool with me. Yeah, no, he was awesome anyway for sure. But so we come to King of the Ring '96, and where you become historically the first ever African American Intercontinental Champion. I mean, the impact of that is still being felt today with Bobby Lashley being the WWE champion. You really
Yes.
laid the foundation for all of that to happen. Talk about how significant that was for you to do that. Like, it was such a historical moment.
That was very, very important to me because they had never had a black singles champion. And, no, in the whole history they've been there, and that's been a long time. And I thought that was kind of ridiculous not to have a black single champion until I got there. But I was glad to be the first one. And like you said, it opened up the doors for, Bobby Lashley and the other guys, that got the belts. And otherwise, they did bad and didn't draw money for Vince, I don't think he would have put the belt on another black guy for a while. But, I did, and made him a lot of money, and he found out that, African American athletes can draw a lot of money, and from there on, the belt started going, to black guys too.
Yeah, you really busted down the door for all of that to happen. Like, yeah, and it was such an amazing
Yeah.
moment. And talk about working with Dustin as well. I know he kind of played a joke on you with the kiss angle on Raw as well. Talk about that and working with him in general. What was he like?
Well, he was a lot of fun to work with too, man. But the kiss, he wasn't supposed to kiss me, but he knew it was live TV, and he knew I couldn't get up and do anything about it if he did. Because when we practiced it, he was supposed to put his hand over my mouth and kiss his hand.
Yeah.
And he didn't do that. He kissed me for real. And I was like, oh my God, you SOB. And I'm going to get you for that one. And then, he took off running. And then that's when I got up and went chasing him. And met Bob Holly in the hallway and snatched him up with one hand. And started looking for Dustin. Then this idiot wanted to stand by the door. I don't know if you remember seeing that when I took the guy through the door.
Oh yeah, I remember. I felt sorry
Yeah.
for him.
Well, he wanted to be the one to stand by the door, and
Yeah.
he was talking kind of cocky backstage, and that's why I laid him out through that door and laid him down.
Wrong place, wrong time.
Yeah.
Definitely. And so later that summer as well, you won that battle royal to become the #1 contender for the WWE title, and you had the kidney injury. Talk about that period of time. How tough was that to kind of deal with the fact that you were getting the push and it kind of got taken away from you from the kidney injury?
Oh, that broke my heart, man. That just broke my heart. It really did. But even before I left, I heard he's going to put the big strap on me before I left.
Yeah.
But things didn't work out, and I had to walk. I had to leave the organization.
So International Incident was another a big event for you as well. The In Your House, where you worked with it was you, Sean, and Sid versus Cornette's team. Any memories of that, and any memories kind of working with Sid during that time?
Oh yeah, Big Sid was a lot of fun to work with too, man. I enjoyed Sid. Sid Vicious he was a cool guy, but he's not somebody you want to play with. He's not somebody
Yeah,
you
I'd say
want.
not.
He's not somebody you want to meet in the dark alley, man. I'm telling you. I mean, I was tough. I don't know if I was tough as Sid, but I know I was tough. But yeah, Sid and Sean was, pretty cool at the time, and it was just a good match.
And that ties in with a fan question that I had for later on. I'll get into it now. From Adam Sintoff from the Facebook group Pro Wrestling Elite Fandom. You can check them out on Facebook wrestling group. Lots of good stuff going on over there. Adam Sintoff wants to know any kind of significant memories of Sean, whether working with him or behind the scenes from back then.
Well, behind the scenes, he really pissed me off. He called me in the office one day, and he said, Ahmed, I need you to stop doing all these high-flying moves that you're doing, jumping off the ropes, diving over the ropes, because, that's things that I'm doing, and I'm a little guy, and here you are a big guy doing it, and it makes me look bad, and this is real stupid, and told me he wanted me to start doing, like, bear hugs and, the old-fashioned big man move. I said, man, it's the new generation. I'm not finna do that.
Yeah.
I'm 300 something pounds, can fly the ropes probably better than you can. And it's the new generation. They don't want to see that bear hug and hand tie up and me break you down. And nah, not for me. That wasn't my style. I was an athlete, and I was going to show them I was an athlete. Because most of the guys that got there, they wasn't really athletes. They were, either big men or little men who can do the high flying stuff, but they'd never seen a big man besides me and the Taker that can really do the high flying moves,
Yeah, definitely. And that was part of your appeal as well, as the fact that you were so big, but could do all of that kind of high flying stuff as well. So
yeah, that was a big part of the appeal. That's what really got me over, was the fact that fans were being ooh and ah, and they see me dive over the third rope. Here I am, 300 something pounds, and I can dive over the third rope, or I can go to the top rope and jump off the top rope and all kind of stuff. And I think that's what really got the fan appeal going. And then my intensity was through the roof. And people always say that's the thing about Ahmed Johnson, you would never see again, is somebody with that kind of intensity. Because, I think I scared a bunch of people because I was so intense until they were scared to talk to me or scared to approach me. I'm talking to other wrestlers.
wow.
They believe I was really that mean or evil or whatever they want to call it. But that's not me, man. That was just acting, That was part of the gimmick.
Yeah. That was actually the next point I was actually going to get to, was the intensity. I mean, it was absolutely unmatched at the time, or probably even since. And like that really shown in your promos as well. So I was just wondering, what way was it back then in terms of, because we know nowadays things are a lot more scripted and everything. Back then, how scripted were the promos back then, or were you given a lot of kind of free range to kind of say what you wanted to in your promos and stuff like that?
Oh, he gave me completely free range to say that I wanted my promos. He would just tell me what direction we were going in. Again, he would let me just go out there and just say what I had to say. So that was something that was cool. But no, he never had to write my promos down. He just told me what direction to go in, and I'd take it in that direction.
Definitely, and that shows as well, because like everybody, and it kind of ties in with, like, what people say about Warrior and stuff about his promos, but you remember them all, and everybody kind of that's one of the things everybody remembers about about you is your promos and how intense they were and everything, and you don't really have that nowadays. Somebody's promos
No.
be really memorable, like a real kind of big part of their kind of overall arsenal of their characters.
Right, and even when they're cutting their promos now, and when they try to look intense and get that intensity, you could tell it's not genuine.
Yeah,
My intensity was real, and people could feel that. You could feel that. This Ahmed character is. If I had to go in the street fight, I'd take him with me, because his intensity can get way up there, and then my intensity was real. When I went intense, I went intense. And now you got, some of the guys trying to be intense, but it's so until you just read through it.
exactly. And like I even remember from myself watching back then, like I was a huge fan of yours, and Undertaker was kind of my number one guy as a kid. And I remember when you were supposed to work together, I remember you came out giving the Pearl River plunge, and like that was kind of the first time I was like, oh shit, somebody, like I felt threatened for Undertaker, like because it was you coming after him, like, so yeah, that really spoke volumes, like. But speak to that actually, to your memories of Undertaker back then, and you were supposed to work on pay-per-view together as well for the title. But talk about your memories of Undertaker back then.
Oh, Taker, man, that's another guy that just unbelievably cool, man. He was cool as ice. No matter what happened, Undertaker stayed cool. He stayed under control. And that's what the thing about him that made him so over was his coolness. It was cool to be the Undertaker and to be, quiet and just and he was just that kind of cool person.
Definitely. And WrestleMania 13 in Chicago, that was another huge event for you. You did the tag with LOD and the Nation. Talk about your memories of that, and working with the Road Warriors. That must have been really special. And I understand Hawk gave you his shoulder pads as
Right.
well. That must have been really, really cool to have that from Hawk.
Right. He gave him to me. I gave him to this Hall of Fame place down.
Oh, wow.
That was to a shoot match all together, man. I'm talking a shoot match, because it was against the Nation, and everybody was really watching their blows. The blows were coming, and you felt every blow.
Yeah, it was super intense. It was super intense, and that was really, really special to look back on. And talk about the heel turn actually to the Nation of Domination at the time. How did you kind of feel about it at the time? Because it seemed kind of out of nowhere in terms of, like, you were so over as a baby face. Talk about the heel turn and how you felt about it.
About what now? I'm sorry.
Turning heel to the Nation of Domination.
Oh, I didn't like it. I didn't like doing that at all. That was, one of Vince's things, and I knew it wasn't going to work out because you had too many powerhouses on one team. The Nation, that team, who could beat that team? If you were being real about it and you wanted people to believe in reality wrestling, that Nation, when I got on there, it was me, Faaroq, and it was just in The Rock, and it was just too much power, man, for one team. So maybe after, I think, a month, he called me to the office and told me he's going to take me out the nation because he didn't have anybody that can go. And I was like, okay. So I thought the only one he believed in that could make people believe that I could fight against the nation. So he pulled me out of it.
Yeah, that makes sense. Talk about what the Rock was like in those days.
In the beginning, you know, he was just the Rock, you know, just Rocky Maivia. He was, you know, young cat, just like the rest of us, you know, just getting started, getting into business, and then he blew up, become the Rock.
Yeah. And Faaroq as well, like he was a prominent part of that, and he had a lot of singles matches against each other. What was Faaroq like to work with in those days?
Like to work with Faaroq was a lot of fun too. In the beginning, it wasn't because he even said that he was jealous of me. So, you know, when we worked in the beginning, it was kind of a shoot match. But once we got to know each other, like each other, it became, you know, a regular match to where we wasn't shooting on each other anymore. But it was pretty cool. It was pretty cool working with Faaroq.
I can hear you now. Vader, he was another guy that you worked a lot of physical matches with back then. What are your memories of working with Vader?
Yeah, Vader was another guy that was a shooter. I mean, our whole match was a shoot match. Hit me with them arm things he do, whatever that is, when he started banging the crap out your head. Jesus, man. I see why them jobbers didn't want to work with him. I mean, you were dizzy when he got done with you. And he got done with them headshots, you were like, Jesus. But then I gave it back to him, just like he gave it to me, I gave it to him. But one thing I respect about him is it was a shoot match, but he didn't cry or complain about it. Most guys would complain and, oh, Ahmed's being too stiff. He's shooting on me. He's hurting me. But Vader wasn't like that. You wouldn't like them other little pussies in there. He was Vader, and he was, you know, a tough dude, and he could take it well as he can give it out.
Definitely. And so, what led to your departure from WWE? I think I heard that there was a storyline that they wanted you to do that you weren't comfortable with. Is that true? What led to your departure from WWE?
Yeah, that's true. They wanted to do this thing where the what were they called? Man, I forgot the guys from South Africa. They were going to
the Barik was, I think, was it?
No, the Bequas was the Spanish group.
Oh, yes, sorry.
They were, dang, what's their names? I don't remember their name, but they wanted to hang you from a rope.
Oh, wow, crazy.
Yeah, and that would have been, you know, can't see little black kids as much as we've been through here in America, being hung from trees and stuff. I wouldn't go in for that. No, you're not going to hang me from a rope. You can forget that. You know, that was just to me, that was going across the racial lines. You know, and I would have disappointed a lot of people if I did that, including myself. I couldn't live myself if I did that. So I told them, no, I'm not going to do it, and I walked out.
God, that's crazy that they even thought about doing that.
Yeah.
Who pitched it to you? Do you remember who came up with it, or who kind of pitched the idea to you?
Well, Briscoe told me about it, but he said it came from Vince. But Briscoe's was the one who told me about it. He said it came from Vince. So I don't know who thought of some dumbass line like that, but no, you wasn't going to do it to me. You wouldn't have to hang me from a rope. I don't care what the situation was. That just wasn't going to get it. I mean, black people been through enough with the hanging and lynching down here in America, you know, back in the past, and to redo that again, and to relive that. No, because my great granddad was hung, and that wasn't gonna be, that wasn't gonna fly with me at all.
Yeah, definitely. And one guy that was working behind the scenes back then in WWF, and you worked with him in WCW as well, is Vince Russo. What are your memories of him? How did you find him?
Oh, Vince Russo?
Yeah.
I thought he was good, man. I thought he called good matches. I didn't have any problem with Vince Russo. I thought he was a good match caller. And they I don't even know what happened when they all broke up and he left. But I thought he was a good match caller. I enjoyed working for him.
Yeah, he's another guy that I think kind of gets a bit of a bad rap as well, doesn't he?
Yeah, he gets a bad rap, man, and I don't know why. Because with WCW, I worked with him then. And I don't know why he gets such a bad rap.
Yeah, it's weird. But another fan question from Mike Casey. He wants to know, was it true that you were supposed to do a pay-per-view main event match with Steve Austin?
Yeah, we were supposed to, but that never happened. I don't know why. He came out and gave me the Stone Cold Stunner, and that was supposed to lead up to our match in pay-per-view. And then all of a sudden that didn't happen, and that, got me thinking. So I'm not sure why it didn't happen, but it just didn't happen.
Yeah. And what was your final meetings with Vince like before you left? What kind of terms did you leave things on?
We didn't leave anything on really bad terms. I just went in the office and told him I, couldn't do it.
Mm.
I didn't give him any reason why, which maybe I should have. On my part, I look at it, maybe I should have told him why. But, down in my family tree, I had somebody that was hung, way down the family tree, and I just wasn't going for it.
Definitely. And another fan question from another guy from Pro Wrestling Elite Fandom on Facebook, the Facebook group, Pro Wrestling Elite Fandom. Jack Reynolds wants, Jack Reynolds wants to know, what are your memories of your time in WCW? What parts of it did you enjoy?
What I enjoyed about WCW was the guys seemed to be a lot tougher. They didn't bitch or complain about, you hitting them too hard or none of that. And that really freaked me out and let me know that the guys in WWF, most of them were full of shit. Because WCW never complained about me being stiff. But, Shawn Michaels and a couple other guys had their little complaints. I guess I messed a pretty hair up. I don't know.
Yeah.
WCW was a lot of fun. I wasn't ready to go because I was out of shape. I had been already sitting home for a while. I wasn't expecting to go, but Stevie Ray called me and asked me to, come tag up with him. And Stevie Ray, and I wasn't going to tell him no. So I went, and I wasn't really in any ring shape or anything, but I just went anyway just to, give them a hand.
Yeah. And Eric Bischoff, I'm pretty sure, was there at the time you were there. He just went into the Hall of Fame now as well. Talk about your memories of Bischoff. What was he like to work with?
He was cool too, man. I mean, he never gave me any, trouble or anything. I mean, he was, Bischoff would do his job. He would call the matches and oversee them. And I thought Bischoff was pretty cool because I heard he wasn't. I heard he was an asshole. And when I got there, I seen total opposite. Because you can really only judge a man by the way the man treats you.
Absolutely, yeah.
And he treated me good. I mean, I don't know how he treated other people, but he treated me good. I got nothing bad to say about him.
And just some of the other names from back then. Hulk Hogan. Did you have much interaction with Hogan back then?
No, I only had one match with Hogan. It was like a battle royal. And after we got done, he came up to me and he said, you know, Ahmed, he said, I was really, really scared at first. He said, I thought you were going to kill me with them punches you be throwing because they look like, you know, they would kill you. Yeah, but those are some of the lightest punches I've ever felt. And I was glad to hear that from a veteran like Hogan, you know.
Definitely.
Then he went around and got himself in some trouble, you know, later on. And I don't know about, you know, that racist stuff he said and all that. I don't, you know, kind of pisses me off because I thought he was a cool dude.
Yeah, it was a pretty
Got me
mad
going.
situation. That was.
Yeah, that really got me pissed off because he had me fooled.
Yeah. And Sting was another prominent name in WCW at the time. Did you have much interaction with Sting?
No, not really. But Sting, let me tell you the kind of guy Sting is, man. Sting is like, before the matches, he would be in the corner with the Bible, reading the Bible. I mean, that's the kind of dude he is, man. He'd be in the corner reading the Bible before the matches. Yeah.
Yeah, I got you as well. Okay, that's good. Yeah, we were talking about Sting.
Oh, Sting?
Yeah.
Yeah, Sting was like that. He was this great guy, man. I mean, he said you sit in the corner, read the Bible before his matches, you know.
Yeah, he's awesome. He's awesome.
He was just a good dude.
And you did a role in the MC Hammer movie as well. Talk about that experience. That must have been pretty awesome.
Oh yeah, playing Suge Knight.
Yeah, Suge Knight.
That was a challenge there. Yeah, but I've done a few movies, man. I've done that one. I've done Witness to Execution.
Oh wow.
And one called Cons. So you get a chance to look them up.
Definitely will do. And just before we wrap things up, talk about the biggest life lesson that you've learned from your time in the wrestling business.
Well, that everything ain't what it looks like. And everybody's not who they seem to be. I learned that very quick. You gotta watch out who you trust, man. I hate to say it was a bad experience, but it, you know, mostly was. I mean, when you look at the guys, and some of the guys were cool as I don't know what, and then some of them you just couldn't trust, man.
Yeah.
They act like they're your friends, and then they turn around and talk behind your back and, you know, go and complain on you. You have to really, really watch them. It's a nasty business.
Everybody kind of looking out for their spot, wasn't it? That's kind of it was a Shark Tank environment back then. Yeah.
Exactly. And you're getting a push. If you're getting a push, you really got to watch it because they come at you like sharks, man. Telling all kind of lies on you and everything else. Like me and Mark Henry been going back and forth at it. But I wanted to say on your show that I got some third-hand information which I shouldn't have listened to. But I want to say to Mark Henry, if what I heard wasn't true, then I apologize for what I said to him. You know, as a man, I have to apologize. But if, you know, he did say it, then so be it. What I said stands. But if he didn't say it, I don't want to apologize to him.
That's pretty big of you. That's pretty big of you. Fair play.
Thank you.
And just one, actually, I just forgot to get to one last fan question. Paul Fraser wants to know what about your memory of slamming Yokozuna. that was quite a moment as well.
Woo! That was like picking up a Volkswagen, man. He was so big until when I picked him up, it was like sticking your hand in a tub full of Jello. I mean, I lost my whole arm in his butt, when I picked him up, and it was golly. And he didn't even jump, he was tired, so he couldn't jump and help me get him up. So I had to get him up on my own.
Wow.
Golly, you talking about lifting up something heavy? That was a heavy lift. A real heavy lift.
Definitely. That was quite the moment. And it's been absolutely awesome having you on the show. It's been a pleasure talking to you. I was a huge fan of yours as a kid, so this was really cool for me. And I'll just remind people one last time about the virtual signing you have on April 26th, 6 o'clock till 9 o'clock for Cantu LLC Promotions. April 26th, you can find all the information and pre-orders on CantuLLCProWrestling.com. So make sure and check that out. And thanks so much for joining me, Ahmed. It's been awesome.
All right. And also, man, if you're looking for another good interview, I know that one of the headhunters, the third headhunter, he gives a good interview. His name is Reggie Rollins. So if you're ever looking for a good, another good interview, let me know and I'll get in touch with him or you get in touch with him so you can get him on there.
Definitely. Thanks for the recommendation, man. That's great. And so thanks so much for coming on anyway, man. It's been awesome. Take care.
All righty. Take care, brother.
Thank you for tuning into Pro Wrestling Defined on YouTube. Please like the video if you enjoyed it and subscribe to the YouTube channel to keep up with all future content. And please follow Pro Wrestling Defined on Twitter, Instagram, and like us on Facebook.